This video is brought to you by Envato. Have you ever wished you could transform a Figma file into a real working website without writing code or even leaving Figma? Well, now you can. Kind of. Figma just dropped a new beta feature called FIGMA SITES, and today I'm trying it out for the first time. I've been designing in Figma for years, and this might be one of the biggest updates to hit the platform. So, is it any good or just a failed experiment? Let's find out together. Now, since I've never used Figma Sites before, there are a few key things I want to explore. I'll start by building some simple elements to see how auto layout works, then try creating and linking multiple pages. I'm also curious if there's any kind of CMS, how reusable components and styles are handled, whether you can add animations, and how responsive design is managed. I'll also attempt to copy-paste a design from an existing Figma file to see how well it carries over. And of course, I'll check out the publishing flow, take a look at the generated code, and just get a feel for the overall user experience. We have a lot to cover, so let's check out Figma Sites. This video is brought to you by Envato. Unlimited downloads of high-quality assets and a full stack of AI tools. Every type of asset for any type of project. Follow the link in the description and start creating now. So Figma Sites was announced or released in 2025 at the annual Figma conference. And, it's meant to be a site builder, like a visual site builder, similar to Webflow, Framer, etc. The team at Figma say that Figma Sites is everything you need to design, prototype, and publish all in one place. And, we have some previews here. I can already see how responsive design is handled, by having different breakpoints here in the same kind of section area. So that's pretty interesting to see. Apparently, we have pre-built blocks that we can just drag and drop to create layouts. Interesting. Interactions. Okay, so it seems we have some animations and interactions we can play around with. Yeah, all right, so let's get started. Let's jump back to Figma. Now, before you create any kind of Figma site, just remember that this feature is currently available for pro users. So you would need a pro plan for your team in order to use it. I have one right here, so let's get started. I'm guessing we just click on the plus sign, design FigGem slides. Okay, so we click on site here to create a new site. So let's click on new site, blank site, and we have some templates here that we can choose from. Okay, so we can filter them by these categories. Let's just start with a blank site for now, because I want to see how this is going. Am I the only one who sees this? What is this? Some sort of artifact right here. Doesn't matter. Okay, so what do we see here? Sidebar, layers. This is where we add multiple pages. Okay, we publish from here. We have the inspector that we remember, of course, from Figma design. And then we have desktop. So these are the different breakpoints, and I can add one from here, I'm guessing. Yeah, okay. So I can add predefined sizes. Okay, and I can also add custom sizes. Okay, we'll just get back to this a little bit later. Let's start by adding some elements to the page. That's what I want to learn first. So how do I do that? So click on plus, insert Shift I. Okay. So we have blocks and libraries. So this is for team libraries, blocks. Okay, so I can add like various sections here. I can add navigation Heroes, features, embeds. Okay. Well, that's pretty limited, to be honest. What if I want to add like a div, a stack? How do I do that? Okay, let's start with the navigation. Let's grab this one. So click and drag. So click and drag, that's nice, actually. It's, it automatically zooms out. Was it just me, or did that happen automatically? So let's try that again. Let's zoom in here. Go to navigation, click and drag. Okay, so yeah, that's an interesting behavior. So if I'm zoomed in, whenever I drag something in, it seems to zoom out to show me the entire canvas here. Basically, it's the same as pressing Shift 1, zoom to fit. Let's go back to file here. Okay, so the layer structure is, you know, very similar to Figma design. We see the same, pretty much the same layout here in terms of properties. So we can change the, the position. This is slightly different than Figma design. Auto layout is still here. Good to see. Appearance, fill stroke. Yeah, pretty much. Layout guide. What is this? Oh, okay, so it's grid, columns, and we have accessibility. Okay, so you can add a tag to this. So this is good to see, the fact that they built this in, because you can make your code more semantic by assigning different tags to the various elements. Okay, and you can also add alt text, of course, to images. So in terms of changing this, let's see. Yeah, that's very similar to Figma. And I can change the auto layout properties here. Cool, I can change this. Yeah, nice. So pretty much auto layout works exactly the same as in Figma design. And of course, changes that we make here on the primary breakpoint will be reflected on the other breakpoints or not. Yes, it does. That's a standard behavior, really. So if I change something in tablet mode, if I change the size here, yeah, it doesn't affect any of the other ones. All right, so let's see what other elements we can add here. Let's add this About Me section, or let's actually add a hero section. Okay, yeah, this is editable, uses auto layout. Yeah, nice. Are these components, I wonder? These buttons. Let's go back to the layers panel. It doesn't seem to be a component. It's just a regular frame here. Yeah. Okay, do we even have components in Figma sites? Well, there's that artifacting again. Well, this is still in beta. The fill dialog or the fill panel seems exactly the same as what we have in Figma design, including this new feature that allows us to, instantly see the color contrast ratio and check for accessibility standards. So that's cool. What else do we have? So navigation pages. So what if I click on About Me? Okay. Yeah, so these are basically sections. They're not like entire pages, even though they're called pages. They're just sections you can add to your website. Let's add this portfolio section. Okay, so it just keeps adding it on top of everything else. And I'm guessing the main page, yeah, it uses auto layout. So that's good. It does that by default. So it makes it easier for us to just add and add elements. Not sure about these lines here. Are these, you see these? They're just some very thin red lines. Are these part of the design? I wonder. Oh yeah, it's a layout guide. Okay, do we have the same lines here on the portfolio? We do not. Yeah, weird. What else do we have? Navigation, heroes. Yeah, various options for the heroes. So are these heroes or are these pre-built blocks responsive by default? It seems they are. They're just adapting to the different screen sizes, which is nice. Nice to see. What else can we add? Features. Yeah, a bunch of... Oh, this is a big list. Okay, so it's a typical layout with a headline, text, CTA, and image. So that's a feature, I get it. This is a more like a 3-column layout. Yeah, for additional features. But then if we scroll down, we have some additional elements here. For example, a pricing list. And what else? Testimonials, social proof logos, text as marquee. What does this do? So, hold on, we have a play sign here. Is there a keyboard shortcut for this? Okay, so now we see a preview of the sites. Okay, so these elements are already animated, which is nice to have. Okay, and this is also animated. Cool. Yeah, nice. So yeah, hit escape and it's going to take you right back to the editor. What else do we have? So marquee, what is this? Text full width, some columns, and this is a... Okay, it's just another element. Do we have any form elements here? I haven't seen any form elements. It doesn't look like we have those. Let's actually do this. Let's select everything. Control A, it doesn't work. Okay. So let's collapse everything. And let's select everything in the hero and delete it. Okay, so now let's just start fresh and kind of build like a landing page design or something. So let's go back here, Shift I. We go to navigation. Let's do this. Header button. Let's go to hero section. Let's just grab a simple one. Okay, let's go to features and let's add maybe one of these and one of this and maybe, you know, one of these. And let's go back to features and let's add maybe some testimonials. I feel that this is named a little bit inappropriate. Like features, it's a pretty generic or actually a pretty specific thing. When I see features, I think about, you know, stuff like this. UI blocks that show various, you know, benefits or, yeah, features of the specific, you know, product or service that the website is about. But in this features section, they also include things like pricing tables and testimonials and, you know, scrolling text and stuff like that. I feel like this could be called differently. Maybe, I don't know, UI blocks or something. When it says features, or at least personally, I think about stuff like this, but not necessarily about stuff like this, like the testimonials. Anyway, so we added testimonials. Let's add some more social proof and maybe some marquee text. And I would like a final call to action here. Let's see where we can find that. Not necessarily features. Do we have a block for this? I guess we'll just have to make our own. Let's go back to heroes, and I think I'll just add this one. Or actually, no, let's Control Z because it's kind of the same as this. Let's add this one and we'll just customize it at the end. And I think I also saw footers in there somewhere. Yeah, there it is. So the footer is under navigation. All right. So this is a page that I've built just with, with pre-built elements. So this is animated right from the start. These have some animations to them. Okay, this is a little bit weird because the text is just so tiny in there. I don't know what's up with that. Same with this one, same with this one. I feel like these image blocks should have been a little bit shorter. Are these animated? No, these are just text elements. The testimonials are animated. That's good. Logos the same. Marquee text. This is a nice animation. Okay. Yeah, so overall, yeah, it's pretty fast to just build something. But I am a little bit put off by the fact that certain elements look a specific way here in the editor, and they look completely different when you preview the site. So, for instance, these feature sections. So they have auto layout and they're set to fill content. And that's good. They have a 64 pixel gap. Okay. But this one is set to fill. And this one is set to fill. So they both should have equal size, right? As they do here in the editor. But as soon as I preview, let me actually go to keyboard shortcuts and see if there is a shortcut for preview. Shape selection, edit, arrange, layout. No. Is it like Control P? No. Okay, never mind. So let's preview this again. Yeah, so it's weird. Why is this happening here? It's a very simple layout. It's just two elements that each take up exactly half of the available space. And yet they look a certain way here, and they look completely broken when I preview the site. Yeah, weird. So I wonder if I create my own element, if that does the same thing. So let's actually create like a simple container. How do I do that? This is really weird. Because you don't have any kind of... Oh, you do. They're right at the bottom. Okay. So you have rectangles. You have the shape tools right here. What else do you have? Embed. So you can draw sections. Okay, frames. This is what I was looking for. Frame. Okay. So let's grab a frame. Let's put it right here above the footer. Let's set auto layout. Let's set this to fill container. I'm just going to set a gap between elements of 100 pixels. And just so we can see it a little bit better, let's give it this dark color. Okay, now inside, again, pressing the F tool. Yeah, let's set this to fill container. And let's give this a fill. Let's make it like bluish, something like that. Okay, now let me select the first frame and let's add like 40 pixel padding top and bottom. Okay. So if I preview this, okay, so far so good. Now, if I duplicate this, Control D, so that works. And it's also set to fill. Let's actually change the color here. Okay, and I preview. Oh, okay, so there is a keyboard shortcut. It's Control Alt and Enter. So Control Alt Enter. Okay, that doesn't work. So Control Alt Enter. Okay, there we go. So when I recreated this layout here, let's actually push it down. Okay, so when I recreated it, the layout, it works just fine for me, but the block that came with Figma Sites is broken for some reason. Let's actually copy this and paste it in here. Let's rearrange things a little bit. I do love the fact that we have pretty much the same functionality as in Figma Designer in terms of the inspector here. So having worked with Figma for so long, you know, it's really easy to just change things from here using the selection colors. Okay, let's preview this again. Yeah, it's weird. I still don't know why this is broken and this isn't. Anyway, let's move on. So let me delete this thing. What else did I want to test? Creating new pages and linking between them. All right. So let's create a new page from here. And I can double click and I can call it About. And we have some page properties here for each of these. So we can change the page title, page meta description, language, exclude this page from search engine results. That's good. That's a good thing to have. You know, if you're doing a test page or something, you don't want that to show up in your in the search results. And you can set a social sharing image. So you can select a frame or you can upload an image. Cool. What are these? Like, this is like the general site settings, status. Okay. So we can publish it or not. We can name the site. Let's call this Adi's test site. Site description, language. Cool. So you can add Google Analytics really easily from here. And you can even add some custom code. Start of head, end of head, start of body, end of body. Okay, this is for analytics and whatnot. Okay, so does this save automatically? I guess so. Okay, so you can publish your site to a Figma.site domain. I'm guessing this is included. And then you can also connect your own custom domain. All right, let's go back to our page. So this is the About page. Interesting. So all the pages basically sit in the same canvas and you can just focus them by clicking on the right side, or, you know, you can just navigate like you would in Figma. Okay, so let's actually add something else here, something like that. And let's rename this. This is the About page, just so we can see what's what. And let's actually change this navigation to something that has a few more navigation links, something like that. I guess it added that navigation right at the bottom. So because this is using auto layout, I can just, you know, use my arrow keys to move it up and down. Let's copy this, paste it here. All right. So let's link to the other pages. So let's select this and we'll say home. Select this and we'll say About. And we can delete this page. So home, let's link it. Create link. And we can select the page from here, About. We can select the page from here. Let's copy that and paste to replace here. So this works exactly like in Figma. Okay, so if we preview this, now we go to home, we go to About, we go back to home. Yeah, cool. So that's pretty interesting. I mean, pretty easy to do. Are there any kind of page transitions, I wonder? So let's see if we select the home page here. Nope, this takes us back to the site settings. What if I select the link? So it just takes me to home. I don't have any additional options here. Okay, effects. No, I don't think that's it. No, that's just the regular effects tab. Okay, so currently there doesn't seem to be a way to add page transition. Oh, hold on. We have interactions. So what can we do with the interactions? Okay, so back, scroll to conditional reveal, custom cursor, play. Okay, I don't see anything page related. All right, well, let's just move on. So creating new pages, linking between them, yeah, pretty easy. Let's jump to the next item on the list, which is CMS. So do we have a CMS? CMS is coming soon. Okay, well, that's pretty disappointing. But in the end, I do have to remember that this is still in beta. So yeah, some features will not be available right away. Okay, next one. I wanted to see about reusable components and styles. So can we add those? From what I've seen so far, we cannot. So if I let's select this this button, for instance. If I right click, I don't have any kind of option that allows me to make it into a component. So I guess that's off the table for now. Yeah, in Figma, we had this thing here, or I should say in Figma design, but it says create components on canvas to use instances in a web page. So if I copy this and I paste it on the actual canvas, okay. Why did it paste like 3 of them? I guess for the 3 breakpoints. So now I can select this primary button and I can create a component. Okay. And I can click here as well. Create component, Control K. That's the same shortcut as in Figma design. Okay, so I created a component. Can we add variants? Yes, we can. Interesting. Component configuration. Yeah, this is the same as Figma design. Properties, same as Figma design. And this is Figma make. All right, so let's actually add a variant here. How would this work for hover states, I wonder? Because in Figma design, you can, of course, create variants for components and then animate those inside a prototype by using, you know, mouse actions like hover, press, etc. So let's call this, I don't know, hover. Let's call the property state. And this is the default. And I don't know, let's make this a little bit lighter. So now I can copy this. I need to delete these. I don't know why those were copied in the first place. And I'm just going to go ahead and paste to replace. So that's going to replace that static element with my component, or at least with an instance of my component. And that replaces it, yeah, pretty much everywhere else in the other breakpoints. And let's also replace it here. Okay, so let's see, if I select this instance, yeah, I can change the state. But when I hover on it, yeah, it just has a different kind of animation. So is that, if we go to interaction, so mouse pointer, it adds a shrink hover effect. Okay, but what if I want to add my own? I can change it. Yeah, while hovering, I can change it to the hover state. And animation, I can change smart. I can choose smart animate. So it's exactly the same as the prototyping in Figma, right? So now if I hover on it, it changes to that secondary variant that I added. And let me actually make this a little bit more visible, like so. Okay, so that's good to see. Components. I wonder if I can add like the same properties. Like if I want to add a text property for the button label, can I do that? I need to assign it here. Yeah, it works exactly the same way. Button label. So now if I select this instance, yeah, I have a field here that I can use to change the text of the button. So that's cool. So yeah, these work exactly the same as Figma. What about styles, right? If I want to create a text style in Figma, you would create them from here. Ah, very cool. So we can create the styles for the different breakpoints. So let's call this a heading 1 style. So on the desktop, it's 64 pixels. On the tablet, it's smaller. Mobile is even smaller. Let's create that style. Yeah, that's cool. That's a big time saver, actually. And look, we even have variables here in Figma Sites. So does it work exactly the same as Figma Design? Seems that way. We can create, yeah, multiple collections. We can create groups with our variables. Yeah. So it works the same way. We can create variable modes. Nice. So we also have that available. Very useful for creating, you know, light, dark modes, things like that. And we also have the styles available right here when we click on the canvas, where we just, you know, deselect everything. It's just like Figma. But of course, we have some additional options here in terms of the breakpoints. And these are actually editable. I can change the name and value. I wonder if these update automatically. So if I change the mobile breakpoint, how do I do that? Mobile. So how do I change the value of this breakpoint? So I can add a custom breakpoint. Let's call it custom, let's say 300 pixels. Yeah, so that adds like a third or a fourth breakpoint. Let's move this out of the way. Okay, so this is the custom breakpoint. Can I change this once I create it? That's the question here. I don't see any option. I can right click, set as primary, set as fav icon, set as thumbnail, but I cannot edit that. Okay. So now if I select, or if I go to this style here, does it have that new breakpoint added? It does not. What if I create a new style? So select that text there, create a new style. Let's say, I don't know, body large. Okay, so now I need to add the style breakpoints myself. So I can add the desktop. I can add the tablet. I can add mobile. So why do I have two of these? Mobile 1 through 799, and then a mobile 375 to 799. So it's this one here, but then why do I have this one? I guess this was the default, and this mobile was created because I added this custom one, and it needed to account for the difference between the other breakpoints. Okay, that's weird. Anyway, so yeah, you can add these yourself, and this is something that I didn't have to do when I created this style, if I remember correctly, right? That just came with this breakpoint list pre-populated. Although, you know, I can always click on this plus sign and add my custom breakpoint here. So the question that I set out to answer a few minutes ago was, do these breakpoints automatically adapt to what I have here in the canvas? But that's not possible because apparently I cannot edit these. All right, I can just I can rename them. I can set one of these as the primary breakpoint, but I cannot change the size of that breakpoint. So yeah, I don't really like that, but I have to keep reminding myself that this is still in beta. Okay, so reusable components and styles. Yes, we can totally do that. We can create components, which is super good. We can create text styles, which is also super good. I didn't actually check for layer styles. So yeah, we can do that as well. We can add styles for the fill, for the stroke, for the effects even. So pretty much everything or anything you can do in Figma, you can, in Figma Design, you can do here in Figma Sites. Cool. What else did I want to test? Animations. Yes. So as I saw, some of these elements are pre-animated, and you get to the animation part by clicking this tab here where it says interaction. This one, for instance, has an interaction that's triggered loading or on-page load, I'm guessing, and it uses a marquee effect. You can set the direction, you can set the speed, and how many times it loops. Or actually, if you want it infinite or not. You cannot set a specific number of repetitions, at least not on this animation. What about this headline here? These elements here, do they have interactions? They do not. So if we preview, yeah, this is just there. It just shows up. So let's actually add some animations to this. Let's select the entire section and let's add an interaction. Hover, press, reveal. Let's do a reveal. Trigger when the element is in view or page load or other layer in view. So that's pretty cool. Enter, fade in, scale in, slide in top, slide in bottom. Let's do this, slide in from the bottom. Exit. So we also have exit animations. Enable replay. Okay, so we click this to actually control the properties here. Rotation, transition. We have some custom easings. Linear, gentle, quick, bouncy. Let's do bouncy. And we can also set a delay. Okay, so on preview, yeah, when this element comes into view, yeah, it just bounces up. Let's actually do gentle. Let's do like a 1 millisecond or 100 millisecond delay. Let's preview. Okay, yeah, so it's pretty easy to add animations. The question now is, can you copy these interactions to other elements? So right click, this copies the element, copy paste as, copy properties. Okay, and you can also remove the interactions with one click, which is cool. So copy paste, let's copy the properties and see if that does anything. And if I paste properties, no, it doesn't actually copy the interactions. And I cannot create like an interaction template. Okay, well, I guess that's all right. I also saw, when it comes to interactions, I also saw like a custom cursor. So what if I want to add a custom cursor to this hero area? So click here, select custom cursor. I need to select a frame or an image. Okay, let's, and this actually just shows me the components. So let's create a component. Let's do a circle, something like this. And let's make it like a brighter color, something that will stand out, something like that. Select this, create component. Let's call it custom cursor. Okay. So now select this entire hero area, go back to interaction, custom cursor. Why does it only let me choose the primary button? I don't get it. Okay, well, I guess primary button it is. We're gonna have a custom cursor that looks like that button. So we can change the position here of the cursor. What does manual do? You can change the X and the Y. Okay, let's just leave it at top left. Let's preview this. Oh, look. We have a custom cursor, which is a cool functionality. This is super simple to do in tools like Framer and stuff. But here, even though this is a component, or actually, let me wrap this inside a frame. Maybe it doesn't like the fact that it doesn't have a frame inside that element. Okay, so let's go back here, change the custom cursor. Nope, no luck. Maybe I select this entire thing and then I wrap it in a frame. This is now called frame 2. Can we add that? Yes, okay. So it doesn't actually matter that it's a component. So if we ungroup this, if we destroy the component, basically, let's just grab this ellipse and just put it up there. So now we don't have a component. Can we still use it as a custom cursor? We can. Okay. And this replaces the traditional cursor. As you can see, we have a traditional cursor outside of this hero area, and we have a regular cursor or a custom cursor inside the area. That's pretty good. But we are kind of lacking in terms of the functionality here. So we cannot add things like damping like we can in, for instance, Framer. And we cannot choose to have this custom cursor follow our default cursor, which is something that I would have liked to see. Okay, so yeah, interactions, animations, things like that. Apparently you can do a lot with this. Oh, let me actually select the page and go to interaction. Maybe we can add a page loading animation. No, or I should say a page transition. I thought we can do that here, but apparently I can just add a custom cursor to the page and not anything else, at least for now. Okay. So now that cursor is like everywhere. Okay. So animations, yeah, pretty cool. They're relatively easy to add, although, you know, you need to switch to a different tab. In Framer, for instance, everything is done from the same panel, basically. You just need to scroll down a little to find a section. Here, you just got to go to interaction and then add it from here. Also, a cool feature that Framer has is the ability to copy the animations or interactions from one element to the other. It's just copy paste, basically. Here, you have to recreate them every time. So if you want to add like the same animation to, I don't know, these 3 sections, you have to do it to each one individually. And that, you know, might take a little bit of time. Okay, what else? I wanted to also see about responsive design. So let's dig into that a little bit deeper. So as I saw, by default, when you create a page, it just comes with desktop and tablet. These are the breakpoints, basically. So the way responsive design works in these apps is that you got to look at the breakpoint value, right? So This layout, for instance, that you see here, will be displayed when the browser window is 1280 pixels or more in width. This one, the tablet, will be displayed when the width is between 800 and 1279, and the same goes for the other two. So if we preview this, yeah, you'll see that currently we are on desktop, and when we get to 1280 and then -1, that switches to the tablet layout, and we can actually switch manually here. So these are the pre-built ones, and these are the only ones that I have access to right here. It doesn't show me the custom one that I made, although that custom one is still relevant. So for instance, if in the custom one, I would like to just delete the social media icons from here, and then I preview, yeah, you'll see that that change happens as well. So that's cool. You can change between pages from here. Yeah, I like the fact that you can change the size in both directions here, so width and height. Yeah, I don't like the fact that you cannot change the value of these breakpoints, or can you actually? If we change the, okay. So we can actually change the value of those breakpoints by changing the width of this frame. Oh man, that was pretty obvious, wasn't it? But I had a brain freeze. I just didn't realize that you could do that. Okay, so you can do the same for any of these. Okay, so yeah, I like that. That's cool. So now that brings us back to a question that I had previously. If I change the value of these breakpoints, are the breakpoints inside these styles updated automatically? So if we open this up, they are not. Okay, so we still have the tablet, or they are tablet 800. Let's change this to 700. 704, that's good enough. Let's go back. No, they don't. Okay, so tablet 800. So this doesn't change automatically, but you can change it from here. You just set up the new value just to make sure that this change happens exactly when the breakpoint changes. Okay, so that answers two questions that I had. One, can you change the breakpoints values? Yes, you can. And two, are those updated automatically inside the styles? No, they are not. Other than that, in terms of responsive design, it works pretty much the same as you would expect. It works kind of in a cascade. So any changes that you make to this primary one, the primary breakpoint, so if I change something here, that updates further down the line in the smaller versions. If I make a change here, it doesn't affect anything else. All right, so if I don't know, delete this thing here, it's only deleted in the tablet view, in the tablet breakpoint, not in the others. And actually deleting something from a breakpoint that's not the primary doesn't actually delete it. It just hides it. So as you saw, it just hid that feature to group that we had here. But if I go to the primary breakpoint, which in my case is the desktop, and I delete this, now that's deleted completely from this breakpoint and any others. So yeah, that's cool. I like the fact that all of these breakpoints are just displayed side by side, like in Framer, instead of manually having to switch between them like we do in Webflow. So this is a cool behavior because you see immediately how your layout looks in other screen sizes. Now let's create another page, and I want to see how copying and pasting from a Figma project works. So let's say you have a Figma design and you want to create a site, you want to publish it basically. So let's create a new page. I'm going to call this test, and I'm just going to open up a demo project that I've worked on for a recent course here on Envato. So I have this 3-page project here, and I have a couple of things set up. I have some components like the header, the footer, and also some text styles, some color styles, some effects styles. So I am curious if I copy paste like everything, like I select everything from this page, and if I paste it into Figma Sites, how will that carry over? So moment of truth, Control V. Okay. For some reason, these have a fixed width, even though here they are set to fill container. So let's actually copy this container. Let's Control Z that. And let's try that again. Paste it in. And let me now set the container to 1280. Okay. So let me select the desktop here, and we'll set the height. So, okay, this doesn't have auto layout applied by default. So let's add it ourselves, and let's set everything to hug contents. Well, I gotta say, it's almost perfect. We are dealing with a bigger size though. So let's do this. Let's select the desktop and let's set that width to 1800. Let's see if that fixes some of the layout issues. It kind of does, yeah. Apart from here at the bottom, let's just add a padding bottom. Okay, so everything is preserved actually. It also copied instances of the components. It also copied I was going to say the text and the color styles, but it didn't actually. I don't have these available right here. Even though if I select this, it says H2, but it kind of references the H2 that I pasted from. I don't have that physically here to be able to edit, which is a shame. But yeah, in terms of the structure, it's pretty much perfect. So if I preview this and we go to the test page, the fonts are not displayed correctly. That's probably because I don't have them installed. But in terms of layout, I mean, yeah, it's pretty much dead on, which is very impressive. And this could be like a really big time saver, because you know, you finish a design in Figma, you just copy paste it into Figma Sites and you just publish super fast. Okay, so how do we deal with this font situation? I'm using Boldy, which is a font that I got from Envato Elements, if I remember correctly. So I have that installed on my system, but obviously when I preview, yeah, it's not applying it here. So maybe I need to go, what is this? Missing fonts. Okay, so it does tell me. Ah, okay. So Sites only supports Google fonts. Huh. Well, that's a shame. What if I have a custom font that I want to add? Apparently you're out of luck if you want to do that. Yeah, I guess let's change the font here. So let's do, I don't know, Barlow. Let's do semi-condensed. Resonate. Let's do Enter. Replace fonts. It didn't replace this one, but I'm guessing it replaces it here. No. So then why did I have to... Okay, let's do that again. Barlow semi-condensed. Okay, so Let's select the style, bold, replace. Okay. So now it replaces them. Okay, so not entirely bad. I'm just really bummed about the fact that I can't use custom fonts. So even if I go to the settings, no, there's no option for that anywhere. Oh well, maybe it's a functionality that will be added in the future. I guess for now, we just stick with Google Fonts. Okay, so copying, pasting from Figma, it seems to work just fine. The stuff that was using auto layout still uses auto layout. It's easy to change things. So yeah, I would say the experience of bringing stuff over from Figma Design is flawless. Now, I kind of tested everything I wanted to test. Let's publish this, and let's actually add a new link here. That's going to say test, and that's going to link to the test page. Okay, let's copy this and let's paste it in the other page. Paste, replace. Okay, and let's select the logo from here and let's link that to the home page. All right, so let's call these Audis test site and let's publish this site URL. We have some issues to review. Auto layout version out of date. Okay, so this was actually created a while ago, and this version of auto layout that you see here is actually pretty new. I think it was released pretty much at the same time as Figma Sites. So it has a few changes, like for example, this grid, which is still in beta. So I'm guessing for maximum compatibility, I would need to update auto layout. Okay, so let's update. And I also have an accessibility issue, missing a label. To make an interactive object accessible, go to add accessibility, select label ARIA, and then add a short description of what it does. Okay, so that's cool. We'll just ignore that for now. So let's publish, because I'm very interested to see how the generated code looks like. All right, so it gave us a live site. Let's click that. Yeah, this pretty much looks the same as the preview, as the design, including this broken section here. Let's go to test. This is the design that we copied from Figma. Obviously, we didn't add any kind of interaction or anything like that. But yeah, it looks pretty good. Let's actually take a look at the page source. Let's open up the inspector here. Or actually, let's do that on this page where, we have links and stuff, things that are animated. So let's see, let's inspect. So we have a bunch of divs, div. It's using Flexbox. That's good. We have some inline CSS styles here. This is for opacity 1, transform, non-cursor auto. This is the hero div. So div, yeah, a bunch of divs. Div ID container. How is this? Yeah, so there is no, I guess, semantic meaning to any of these. It just treats everything like a div. What about this link here? Is it a link at least? Div. I have another div and another div and another div. Oh man, this is bad. So div. So this link, instead of being an anchor tag, is actually a div with the role of link and flexbox applied to it. Not that matters. And a paragraph inside it. Oh my God. Okay. Ooh. Let's try and fix this. So let's at least go here. Select this home link and we'll go to accessibility and we'll add a tag to it. We'll make it... What? I can only add paragraph H1, H2, H3, H4. No anchor tag. Yeah, I don't like that. Okay, let me select the nav here and add... Well, at least I can add a nav link here, or a nav tag to this element. Let me select this, and let's add the header tag. What if I select this button? Can I make it into a button, or at least... No, I cannot. Okay, so let's publish these changes. Let's update. And yeah, let's refresh this. So now if we do an inspect, we should have some more... Yeah, we have the header here because I added that semantic tag. And I should have a nav element here as well. Yes, we do that. We do have that. But the links are still displayed as divs. I mean, what the heck? Okay, so it's div galore here, basically. It's a shame, really, that we don't have more control over elements like this. Or at least not that I saw. Maybe there is a way to do it. To have a link, for instance, be an anchor tag, as it's, the right way to do it in HTML. But, in the end, you gotta ask yourself, I mean, do you really care about that? If you're a designer who has absolutely no idea about coding, do you really care that this is a div and not a link tag or not an A tag in HTML? Or do you care that, it does what it's supposed to do, and if you click it, it takes you where you need to go? And I keep going back to the same point. This is still in beta, so in the future we might see improvements, and I hope we can see some improvements because this is showing a real promise. So in the end, what are my thoughts about this? So I think it's really easy to use. I like the fact that you can just copy paste a Figma design and, it's ready for publishing, basically. I like that you can add animations relatively easy, although I'm not a big fan of switching to a new tab here. I don't like the fact that you cannot copy paste interactions between elements. I wish there was a way to make templates like in other software like Framer, where you can create a page template that has the same header, the same footer, and just have different content. From what I see, you cannot do that here. Adding new elements, yeah, it's pretty easy, although I didn't go really in depth with everything, but yeah, it seems pretty much the same as Figma design. I like the fact that the inspector here is pretty much the same as Figma design, so anyone who is very familiar with that will feel right at home here. I like the fact that auto layout works exactly the same way. Creating new pages, switching between them is very straightforward, although I wish we had the option to add some sort of effect between pages like we have in Framer, for instance, and Webflow. I really like the fact that we have access to components and styles and variables. So everything that you can use in Figma design for, reusability and saving time is also available here in Figma Sites. Really cool. I wish I would have seen the CMS in action. It's too bad it's not available right now. I'm really curious about its capabilities once it's launched. In terms of responsive design, it's pretty solid. I like the side-by-side view for the different breakpoints. I like the fact that you can edit them, you can add your own custom breakpoints. That's very good. In terms of publishing, very simple. You just click a button, you update. I like the fact that it gives you a list of issues that you need to review before you hit publish. That's good. Connecting a domain, that's a given for this kind of tool. It's good to see it available. Kind of bummed out about the generated code. Just too many divs in there. And some of these elements are not coded as they should be in terms of semantics. Like the link here, which should be an A tag. This, it should be a button element, and, the list can go on and on. But as I said, this is still in beta, so maybe those things will come later. So what are my ending thoughts for this? I gotta say, I like it. I was expecting Figma Sites to be kind of awful, to be honest, because it's still in beta. It's just been released like very, very recently. And I gotta say, it's better than I thought. It's pretty straightforward to work in it because, I know Figma very well. I've been working in it for so many years. And a lot of the functionality, the options, the controls from Figma Design have been brought over to Figma Sites. So it's very easy to do stuff in it. And it doesn't really feel like a site builder where, you have to think about doing layouts slightly differently. It just feels like Figma, but now you can actually publish that design and make it live for the web, which is really cool. There are a few things I don't like, as I mentioned earlier, but I'm sure they're going to get better and better as the team moves out of the beta phase and it moves to a more stable product. I would highly recommend it to someone who doesn't have an experience with visual builders or site builders, but is very familiar with Figma. Is it ready for large-scale websites? Obviously not. We don't have a CMS yet. There are a few bugs, but for simple things, I think this is just fine as it is right now. So I would like to know what you think about Figma Sites. What other tools are you using for building websites nowadays? Let us know down in the comments. And if you've tried Figma Sites yourselves, does it fit in your workflow? Do you see yourself using it in the future? As always, don't forget to check out the Envato Tuts Plus YouTube channel for more content like this, but also to learn about web design, web development, and much more. It's all free, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. That's it from me. I'm Adi. Thank you very much for watching and joining me in this journey of discovery as I've used Figma Sites for the very first time. Take care. I will see you next time.